Hey everyone, welcome back to Terry Impact's channel, and this is Terry bringing you another guide in the video. And in this video, I will be starting to make some character guide, and these guides will be a little bit long and in-depth. If you want to learn about a character, make sure to check these out, and they are more likely to be out every Friday, so look forward to Fridays for new guides. And now allow me to introduce, welcome to Genshin Impact Stock Market Analysis Episode 1 featuring Dehya. So Dehya right now in the patch version 3.5, it's kind of like a stock in the stock market with unknown future. But let's get into the guide. Oh, so before we begin the guide, I have to say that all of the character guides will be following this order of Ascension Material, talents, and then goes into skill level up, team recommendations, weapon recommendations, artifact recommendations, Constellation recommendations, and then a concluding remark with some of my thoughts on the character. And of course, these video guides have their corresponding written guides on Hoyu Labs, which will be in the link below. So make sure to check them out too, and let's begin. So first, let's begin with the Ascension Materials. So like any other characters, there is a specialty that we need to grab from the area, which is Sand Grease Pupa. And this, I have a guide on collecting, which I will be linking below. And the boss it needs is from the Sumeru area also. The material is called Light Guiding Tetrahedral, and the boss fighting guide will be out soon. And also the Ascension Material for the red headbands, there is another collection guide that will be linked below. Okay, with that being said, let's move on to the talents. Normal attacks. So the Dehya will do 4 consistent strikes with her claymore. So I won't be going into the reading all parts of the skill, so I will just be summarizing whatever is needed for this guide. So the normal attacks has 4 attacks. The last attack is used in a charged punch, which I really don't like because the last attack takes a long time to activate. So this the animation is very cool, but the attack takes very long. The charge attack is the same thing as Delix, so I won't be going into that. And then the plunging attack, it's the same thing as all other Claymore characters. Now let's go into her kit. The elemental skill, Molten Inferno, unleashes an area with fire. The duration is 12 seconds. The CD is 20 seconds. We can recast that one time to adjust the location, but it does not reset the duration. And unlocking passive 1, 9 seconds of stop interrupt will become super armor. So if you are not familiar with super armor, it basically means that you won't be interrupted in any way. And when she is in the backstage, she will help split the damage the on-stage character has. And this split will depend on the Dehya's skill level for the elemental skill, splitting with 50% at level 10. And the maximum split damage she can do is 2 times the Dehya's total HP. So for example, if the Dehya has 30k HP, then the maximum damage the Dehya can help split is 60k before she stops sharing the damage. However, her damage sharing does not take shells, elemental burst, and damage on shields, and the damage for cold gauge or hot gauge. In the circle, the totem in the center of the area will do coordination attacks, and it will apply weak pyro every 2.5 seconds 5 times, in resulting 5 pyro energy balls. Coordination attack also works if you are outside of the area. And this skill is mainly a support skill, and it's in limited area. So from this, we can see that the developer really wants us to stay in the area to do damage. This also means that it has very good synergy with Bennett, which is also a part of the Dehya's banner right now. So moving on to the elemental burst, Lionite Bite. The Dehya will retrieve her elemental skill if it's on the field with her fist and throw punches and kicks at her opponents. And then at the end, she will release the elemental skill again, but the duration will stay the same. But we can use it to adjust the location of her elemental skill. But this is hard to use, and mainly this skill is used to fill the team's downtime. And if you go fast enough and pressing the attack button or the elemental skill button, she can throw a maximum of 10 fists at the kick before ending the duration of the elemental burst. And during the elemental burst, she can't use normal attack or elemental skill. It will be switched with a different icon that we can press. So coordination attacks like Xingqiu and Yellow elemental burst won't be focused on, so we'll cancel the elemental burst. So the team she is going to be in most likely going to have a main DPS that will do much more damage than what she does using her elemental burst. So in those teams, it's a kind of waste of time for her to use her elemental burst. Moving on to the passives. Passive 1, Unstaining Score. After using the elemental skill or the burst to adjust location of E, she will be receiving 40% of the sheer damage within 6 seconds, trigger every 2 seconds. Passive 2, Stalwart and True. If the Dehya HP falls below 40%, she will gain about 90% HP in 10 seconds. And if you have a healing crown here, she can full recover her HP. And this occurs every 20 seconds. Passive 3, she basically runs faster from 6 AM to 6 PM. Okay, now let's move on to the skill level up order and suggestion. So here it's a diagram rising one skill to max level 10. So this is only for one skill. Okay, now let's talk about the skill levels. So talking about the skill level, can't talk about it without talking about the playstyle. So for a sub DPS character, we do need to level up the elemental skill first, then level up elemental burst. But we don't need to level up the normal because we're probably not ever going to use the normal attack unless we're mining. So I will suggest that level 10 on the elemental skill and maybe level 8 on the elemental burst to save resources. And if you really want to like her, can level elemental burst also to level 10 or level 9. So for a full support build, elemental skill only is your choice, because for full support we're not using her to do damage at all. So elemental burst is not going to be used, nor is the normal attack. And for Burgeon teams, she will be used as a burning igniter, so we can just only use a level up the elemental skill and no other resources is needed. And if you don't have any resources, then don't need to level up anything. Now let's get to the team building here. She doesn't work very well in the current team compositions, but she is viable, and I am going to mainly use her here as a support in the team, except for the Burgeon teams. So for support teams, the first one is Melting Ganyu. Ganyu, Nahida, Dehya, and Benit. This is one of the viable team comps. And some alternative options is Ganyu, Dehya, Shenhe at C6, and Benit. This Melting Ganyu team will do a lot of damage, since Shenhe's C6, the normal attack and the charge normal attack from Ganyu doesn't take up the charges, and also get a benefit of the attack boost. Another team is Yelan, Hu Tao, Dehya, and Kazuha, and this is a very normal team build. Another one is Ayato, Nahida, Dehya, and Benit, and this one does Vipraise damage. And now let's talk about special teams in Sumeru. Here we can use Kokomi, Nahida, Darrow Main, and Dehya. So Dehya here will be used as an igniter, so we can build her all elemental mastery. And some interesting teams that we can come up with. It's one is physical damage team, which uses heavy attacks. Since her specialty weapon here in this patch is very strong, and she has an anti-interrupt, we can use her for the physical team to do charged attacks. Because on other teams, we will need to bring Zhongli to stop the interrupt. However, on this team, she can stop the interrupt by her kit. And maybe Mika in the second half of the banner could be made for her on the physical team. Another team that has been very good in the community is, actually it's not a team, but a build for the Dehya, is with Ocean Heal. So with these artifacts, her heal could do damage. Along with healing from the team, she can actually sit there and take 45 minutes to beat a boss just by AFKing. So that is the teams that the Dehya would be in. And for the open world team, you can use whatever or whoever you have on your use whoever you have, and it could help you explore the open world without any difficulties. Now let's move on to the weapon suggestions. So her specialty weapon, the Reed C, is a great weapon to have overall. Wolf's Gravestone is a pretty good claymore to have for sub DPS. And for utility builds, as support builds, Sacrificial Greatsword is pretty good. Mailed Flower is very good for burning teams, and other elemental mystery weapons are very good for the burning team. Now let's talk about the artifacts. So for sub DPS, there are many options. Noblesse, Malice, Crimson Witch, and Severed Fate are very good. So as the sub DPS, the Sand will be attack, Goblet will be pyro, and the Circlet could be either crit rate or crit damage, depends on what you have. And for the Igniter teams, Deep Woods and Paradise Lost are very good. For these teams, you just need to build Elemental Mystery. For AFK Gaming, Sea Healed is very good here, and just take whatever you have and make sure that your Circlet is healing bonus. Now let's talk about the constellations. So C1, C2, and C6 bring a lot of improvement in the Dehya. So C1, the Dehya will gain max 20% max HP and have her elemental skill and elemental burst do additional damage to her proportional damage to her HP. And C2 will extend Molten Inferno's duration by 6 seconds. And C4, she will gain more energy restored and HP restored on using her elemental burst. And C6, she will gain 10% crit chance on elemental burst and increase damage while in the elemental burst state. So overall, from the looks of it, C1, C4, and C6 will increase her damage as the sub DPS, and C2 is very crucial for support the Dehya. So in conclusion, the Dehya is a mid-tier character because we have no idea why miHoYo is releasing her here at version 3.5. It could be that miHoYo wants to collect user data about the same their characters they are going to release, like how they did to Tonari to collect data for Alhaitham. Well, she also might be like Yaemiko and Kuki Shinobu back in 2.5 to 2.7, where no one understands why they released it until the addition of Darrow element. So I'm looking forward to see more mechanics added to the game in the Fondam patches. So I pulled just because I really like her art, and I'm planning to put her in the Senna teapot until she is viable on the team. Still, I think she is not worth pulling if you are free to play as of version 3.5, because she is going into the permanent wishes. You will be losing a 50-50, so that might be your Dehya for you. And if you really like the Dehya, I do recommend you pull her now, because the chances of losing every 50-50 just for her is such a pain to go through. So this will be all for the guide on the Dehya, and if anything changes, I will be releasing new videos continuing whatever have changed in the game. So as always, if you think the video was helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel for more guides and newses on Genshin Impact. And once again, this is Terry here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!